Welcome to CEO Insights. I'm Marilyn de Guzman with INN. I'm speaking with Frank Basa, President and CEO of Coniagas Battery Metals. Hi, Frank.
Hi.
Good to see you again.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Nice to see you.
You too. So let's start our conversation, sort of an overview of sort of the market as governments, particularly North America, continue to ramp up their initiatives to boost domestic supply of critical metals. Where do you see Coniagas fitting into this backdrop?
Originally we had Coniagas in one of our other companies. It was called Canada Silver Cobalt. And when we had it in there, we drilled it, and we found a very large deposit. We did about 70,000 meters of drilling. We spent $6 million and wasn't getting any traction in it. And a lot of my European investors said, Frank, you should really break the assets in two. We have a pretty high-grade silver deposit in Ontario. And this deposit, this copper-nickel deposit, seems to be quite massive. We'll put it in another shell. And that's how Coniagas came about. I think being in Quebec, we have another project in Quebec. Quebec is very supportive. Investment Quebec is very supportive. It's interesting. Everywhere I go in the world, I run into people from Investment Quebec. And really good, really nice people. Their mining sense, whatever you wish to call it, Quebec, is really let's develop the assets, let's develop these mines, which is very nice.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit more about the jurisdiction. As you said, you're in Quebec. In addition to being a mining-friendly jurisdiction, what other compelling factors are there that are attracting you to it?
One of the main things is actually their power costs are very, very low, and we happen to be, our industry is very energy intensive. And they also have excess power. We looked at Ontario. We like to do the work in Ontario because they're building 2 battery plants in Ontario. They're spending billions of dollars doing that. And they're only building one in Quebec, Norval. Everybody thinks there's nickel all over the place and copper everywhere. It is, but it takes years before. And you can't just take something that somebody's producing nickel right now or copper. A lot of that stuff is committed long term. So being in Quebec, there's probably an end user, Norval, more than likely to be an end user for our product, and power is critical. And where we are also located, we're close to a port, and a lot of people have approached us from, of all places, Africa, to give us fee. So we also are looking at putting a processing facility, and we've actually been out to Africa, and actually well received. It was surprising how well received we were as Canadians. So when you look at the overall equation, power, location, the very, very positive support, languages, everybody's wondering about a language problem. We speak French, so not really a language problem. So nice people, you pick up the phone, you actually talk to somebody, they actually come to you. We're in London, England. Was it last year before last? The assistant deputy minister shows up at our booth in London. From Investment Quebec. I thought, wow, yeah, pretty nice, It says, Frank, come to Quebec. I says, I'm already there, So it's nice. It all fits kind of nice. So it's a good fit,
And the Graal property, you mentioned a little bit about that earlier. So could you maybe provide more information on what makes it a compelling property, the economic attributes of it?
So what we do, we spend a fair amount of time. We actually are looking at, we still have about 14 properties, including Graal. We spend most of our time and money on Graal because we thought there's something there. So all we did was very shallow near-surface drilling. So we have a strike length of about 6 kilometers that we did with our 70,000 meters. Graal is actually Graal. And if you look at a property, it's made like a funnel. And so we're looking at, when we spin it out, it should be trading on the 11th of March. We might start drilling right away, and we might have some very high, crazy numbers for copper nickel. We also have some precious metals, but I think it'll probably be more likely a copper nickel. There's some cobalt values, but the property potential is massive. While our other properties, we have another one in Quebec called Lac de Loire. We did a bit of drilling on that. And then we might do some staking. We found some very interesting stuff in Quebec to stake. But the remainder of our properties are in Ontario. And as they become of value, we'll transfer them over. We don't just want to transfer over properties to Coniagas. So Coniagas is a new company. It's very tightly held. It's a small, very clean company. If you're a shareholder of Nord, of course, you'll get a dividend. We've done these dividends in the past. You get a share and a warrant. And the last time we did that, we basically gave out $16 million in dividends to our shareholders. So it's kind of a win-win. You still keep the shares in the other company, and then you get shares in this new company called Coniagas. So you win both ways. So you're into the precious metal market. I think that's going to do quite well going forward. And I guess battery metals are not going to go away.
Yeah. You've alluded earlier to your processing technology. You're looking to build a processing plant, likely in Quebec, as you mentioned. So talk about, do you want to talk about that process, what makes it unique? And
Well, we really did a fair amount of work using this process. The approach was actually developed over a 6-year time frame. We spent about $8 million on it. So we did bench scale, 2 pilot plants, and then we did plant trials. We also produced product we were in Japan. We met with Somito. We actually met with the car manufacturers as well. We met with the Chinese, South Koreans, and we met it on spec. So we made cobalt sulfate for them on spec. Our process is hydrometallurgical. It appears a lot of these car manufacturers, battery manufacturers, don't want at a future date things that burn. In other words, most of the smelters are pyro, and they want something that doesn't put anything into the air. So our process is all hydro. It's closed loop. It's a very simple process. It doesn't require any sophisticated equipment. You can basically build it anywhere. And it's, I would call it low-tech, high sophistication. And it works. We spend a fair amount of time and money doing it. We produce product. And we can take high arsenic feeds. And so there's a lot of these high arsenic feeds globally in Canada. In the cobalt camp, there's a lot of cobalt. Also in the States, in Idaho, there's massive cobalt deposits with nickel that have high arsenic. And the smelters can't take the high arsenic. We can. And we can produce a saleable arsenic product. Originally, we were going to dispose of it. Then we found out it's one of the critical metals the Americans want, which I thought, wow, a market for something that's considered a waste.
Yeah. So, we're here at PDAC. What is your key message to investors? What makes Coniagas Battery Metals a compelling investment opportunity? Right?
There's a lot of nice companies out there. We've been on a V50 twice with 2 companies. We're really aggressive when it comes to marketing. We go everywhere. And we never stop talking, and we never stop drilling. And, most people know what a V50 is. It's actually the top 50 stocks on the venture exchange. So we took 2 distressed shells, or basically worthless, and within 18 to 36 months, we took up to almost 100 million market cap. One, we took over 100 million market cap. And we, as a company, the way we're designed, we've been a virtual company from day one. We don't have an office. When we take money, it goes in the ground. It doesn't go anywhere else. And we are driven by success. In other words, everybody gets a very, what I would call a generous option agreement. And people have made millions working for us just on options. But, the market's right, I think. I think the copper nickel market is not going to go away. The precious market, I think, is going to come back to life. I notice gold is going up. And then, if you look at our other property, we have the highest grades of silver in the world, running up to 89,000 grams a ton. Nobody else has that. But it's a cobalt camp. It's been known for that, and we seem to find it. It's kind of you work at it, you'll find it.
Thanks, Frank, for taking the time speaking with me today.
Well, thanks. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
And thanks, everyone, for watching. Join us again next time for another engaging conversation on CEO Insights. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates and interviews. See you next time.